Hello everyone, my name is Stephen Quay and I'm product manager for footwear here at Specialized. I'm here today to talk to you about the new S-Works Aries shoe and talk you through some of the samples that got us to the final product. The path to S-Works Aries is pretty long with a lot of different iterations. It started all the way back in Mark Cavendish days. Some of the concepts that we were working on with him have made it into the shoe. The two that are big standouts on this, one is being this overstrapped construction. There's this double enveloping wrapping that we were doing of his foot, trying to really just contain and harness the pedaling action. And then the other is this really early sort of tendon relief work that we were doing by slitting the tongue and allowing it to splay around that dorsal tendon. That's another key feature that we ended up bringing into the final shoe. Our next phase was in the Marcel Kittel days. Working with Marcel, we were really focused on alleviating the dorsal hot spots and also creating a little bit of that tendon relief. So taking that Dyneema material, wrapping it over the top of his foot, and then really just trying to give him this kind of wrapping feel around the foot to harness him during the big sprints. After working with Cavendish and Kittel, we knew that just little tweaks weren't going to solve the problem. We needed to go a little crazy. And so this is one of the first prototypes that we had made, trying to get after these problems in a pretty new and different way, and it was terrible. I think this is one we all universally despised and kind of moved away from pretty much immediately. So after taking the project and blowing it up and trying a bunch of different new things, we really started focusing in on a concept that looked a lot like this. And so with this shoe, we were taking a lot of those insights from Cavendish and Kittel. The real highlight feature of this shoe is this dorsal shield here. It takes all those hot spots off the top of the foot and creates one uniform piece that's holding the top of the foot and dispersing pressure evenly. The other thing we were really doing with this shoe is trying to create hold that was pulling down and back. Rather than most shoes which wrap the foot, we wanted to really secure the foot back into this heel counter for out of saddle efforts. So we really had an aha moment when we started working with Sam Bennett. Sam's a really special guy because he's not only a top sprinter, a top performer, someone who rides explosively and aggressively, but he's also fantastic at telling us what he's feeling and telling us what he needs out of his footwear. So the two key things that Sam really cued us into were, one, the way that the bike kind of rolls, the rolling action of the bike and the foot inside of the shoe when you're out of the saddle. And that was something that we, prior to Sam, had always been thinking about the pedaling action in a very linear motion. The other thing that he really cued us into was the way that he wanted his forefoot held. So he wanted this sensation of being really locked in across the forefoot in the metatarsals and having a direct and immediate connection between his foot, the shoe, and the pedal, and finally the bike. So this was one of the first prototypes we had made after our meeting with Sam. And you can see a lot of the stuff that we were trying here made it into the eventual final product. So you can see sort of an early iteration of this overstrap here with the zigzag lacing on the medial side. This overstrap too, we were using some pretty robust materials to try and give Sam something to push against as his foot was rolling in the shoe while he was out of the saddle. And then you can also see too, one of the early kind of iterations of this forefoot strap. The eventual way we made the strap was totally different, but the placement and kind of core functionality hasn't really changed. We really found even in this first prototype that we were hitting on something special. And here's our final product, the S-Works Aries.